Joining me this week to discuss the upcoming Portugal parade and other events is Jennifer Costa Gomes. She is the parade coordinator. Welcome. How are you?
Good, thank you. Delighted to be here, and thanks for having me.
Now, you are the parade coordinator for this year?
Correct.
And were you parade coordinator any other years?
Yes, I've been doing this since 2004, and I also served as president for a 2-year term. So it's been great to be able to work with the community and the different Portuguese organizations to institute the parade.
Now, do you find it to be challenging as the parade coordinator?
Extremely challenging to get people to get their applications in on time and to register. However, ultimately, it all comes together when everyone's walking down on Elizabeth Avenue.
Now, this year's parade will take place on June?
Yes, it's actually going to be the first Sunday in June, June 3rd, and it'll commence at Union Plaza Square, coming down Elizabeth Avenue, then proceeding to Broad and concluding on Grove Street at the Portuguese Instructive Social Club.
Now, I'm glad you're here with us to join us, because as a person watches the parade, they just get to see the finished product. Absolutely. And they don't know exactly what goes in. But I know from talking to various people on the committee that you start prior to maybe February or even beyond with different events and everything. So how long has the Portugal Day festivities been a tradition here in Elizabeth? It's
been a tradition since about 36 years ago, and it was instituted by a young visionary of the community wanting to get everyone together. And since then, we've grown the parade over the past 36 years into being one of the oldest and the largest Portuguese parades in the state of New Jersey.
Now, as you mentioned that, what is the history of Portugal Day here in Elizabeth?
Absolutely. The history of the Portugal Day is actually commemorating Portugal's national holiday, which is on June the 10th, and it's officially observed in Portugal as well as throughout the world. And it commemorates the National Day of Immigrants, as well as Luís Vaz de Camões, who was a famous icon in Portugal who passed away in 1580. So we continue the tradition throughout Portuguese communities around the world, and we do our part here in Elizabeth as well. Okay.
Now, when you mentioned doing your part here in Elizabeth, share with us the Portuguese presence here in Elizabeth and their contributions to the community.
Sure. The Elizabeth community is one of the largest ethnic groups in the city of Elizabeth, and so throughout the years we've developed our Portuguese church at Our Lady of Fatima. We've instituted one of the larger Portuguese clubs in the tri-state area, which is located off of 1 and 9 in Grove Street, the Portuguese Instructive Social Club. But just in general, every family has instituted their own vision to enhance the culture and maintain traditions, while a fundamental principle that we've been taught since being little was community involvement.
Okay. Now, every year the Portugal Day Committee selects a Grand Marshal.
Yes.
Now, who did you pick for this year?
This year we selected the President of the Parish Council of Our Lady of Fatima, and that is Mr. George da Costa, and he is somebody who has given countless hours of helping organize the Parish Council, as well as he participates on our committee in the plannings.
Now, what's the history behind picking a Grand Marshal? Who were some of the former Grand Marshals, if you can remember?
Oh goodness, you're testing my memory now. Some of our former Grand Marshals is Rogério Pestana, who's also very active with the Boy Scouts. Ideally, the vision of past Grand Marshals is people that have contributed tremendously and given of themselves to continue the traditions, and whether it's being a part of the Portuguese Club or the Boy Scouts or any organization within the community, we take time to commend them for their efforts.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, the finished product everyone gets to see in June.
Sure.
But prior to, there's a litany of things that take place. What are the scheduled events for this year's celebration?
Sure. We actually had several of our events already occur. We had a pageant, which consisted of over 41 contestants of different age groups, as well as of the male and female genders. So that was one of our larger events that occurred this year. We also had a wine tasting event, which was an opportunity to launch our festivities for the year. And we've had a fishing derby, which had over 300 children and families participating in the barbecue at Warrenenko Park, and we were able to fish with the support of the police department, who helped us with this project.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the highest point of the Portugal Day celebration is the parade.
Yes.
Who organizes the Portugal Day parade?
Well, it's the actual committee for Portugal Day, and that is comprised of different members of the various organizations that are made up in the city of Elizabeth. So different organizations send over a liaison or a representative, and in essence we kind of collectively get everyone's thoughts and ideas of what their vision is for the year, and we institute it accordingly.
Now, I don't know if your memory can take you back, but do you remember when you became the president?
Yes.
Were you nervous? How did that feel?
It was such a great honor, just because of being able to work with so many of the past members of the community and having the honor of being able to pull everyone together. It's a tremendous responsibility, but I had outstanding leaders that have helped guide me, and it was a great experience.
Well, I must commend you as the president, but you relay this back to the committee, because I noticed the parade is enormous as far as people participating in it, but also those watching it, the spectators. You get hundreds, maybe thousands along the parade route. How do you go about bringing people into the parade, also to watch the parade? It's
through the opportunity that we have with sponsorships or programs such as this, and welcoming everyone from the city to be Portuguese on our June 3rd. So it's just a matter of extending ourselves, letting everyone know through programs such as this, through different sponsorships and posters and flyers. But really, we welcome everyone, every ethnicity to come see. And this year, we're expecting it to be the largest parade yet. We've grown to over 5,000 participants in number, and we have over 50 contingents that come out on the parade route itself. So we have fantastic floats and dance groups and bands and DJs. It really is a great event and spectacular sight.
So I'm quite sure in the start it was probably a task to get people to come out and be a part of it. Now I'm quite sure people are reaching out to you. So how is it now? Is it easier now than it was before?
Absolutely it is. It really is. When the word spreads and it's good news, everyone wants to be a part of it, and we're honored to be able to maintain the tradition of Portuguese heritage, and so to be able to demonstrate that on Elizabeth Avenue is really an honor.
Now the parade is finished, you marched the route and everything goes. What happens after the parade, and do people usually go on to continue celebrating?
Absolutely. The festivities go to the wee hours. Concludes at the Elizabeth Portuguese Instructive and Social Club. And there we have folkloric dance groups performing, we have bands, we have tents set up outside. For the children, the event's open to the public, so anyone can attend, but we have huge bouncing gyms for the children, we have tons of ethnic foods, and so it's just a great outdoor festival for the rest of the afternoon.
Now the parade itself is just a major task. Now we talked about the after event. Roughly how many people take place in the planning of this day?
Planning of this day, I would say in essence, is a core committee of about 20 people, but then it extends out to the individual organizations. So I would say in essence about 30 to 40 people to help facilitate the day flawlessly. And is there planning for something for the young and the old to do, or is it just for the older? Nope, it's all generations. We're very glad to be able to encompass and get everyone involved. It's not geared toward one demographic or one age group, and again, it's open to everyone. So we really encourage participation from everyone. Okay, we're going to take a brief pause and come back with the second half of the show, okay? Thank you. All right, thanks. We'll be back with the second half of Our City after these words. Thank you. Welcome back to the second half of Our City, and I'm joined here with Jennifer Costa Gomes. She's the parade coordinator for the upcoming Portugal Day parade here in the city of Elizabeth. Jennifer, you've been coordinator since? 2004. Since 2004. Working with the committee and doing all the parade logistics of closing off the streets. Right. Again, with the support of the Elizabeth Police Department. So you make it sound easy, but here's the question for you. Since 2004, yes, how do you make things better and better each year? It's really the feedback from the committee and hearing about what the organizations liked, what were their challenges, and every year we just keep growing and growing. Okay, now in saying that, is there anything new for the 2012 parade? Yes, we're very excited and delighted to inform everyone that this year we're going to have a live broadcast feed, and it'll be able to be viewed live at www.rlsmedia.com, and then through that broadcast we're going to be doing editing to make the parade a little bit shorter and be able to be broadcasting on TV. Right. But for details on the actual airing times and channels, it'll be posted eventually on our website at elizabethportugalday.com. Now the internet component that you just mentioned, is it possible that folks back in Portugal can watch this? live thanks to the internet. Yeah, it's actually a great opportunity for us, and we're going to start promoting it a lot more in advance now so we can tell family back home in Portugal to watch us live.
That's great. That's really good. Now, is it too late for others to join and become a member of the Portuguese Parade?
No, actually, we're taking applications right through May 25th. And so up until that point, that'll be our cutoff. But anyone can participate, any organization, not necessarily Portuguese. You can come and promote your cause as long as, again, you do pay tribute to the Portuguese event. We ask that we maintain that tradition.
Now, besides what you mentioned, are there any other rules and regulations that go along with the parade?
Yes, there are a few rules and regulations. I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget everything. But what we do ask is that everyone register. In order to participate, there has to be an application filled out. There are going to be vehicle authorization passes, so this way only vehicles that are authorized in the parade will be there, as well as we ask for no political solicitation. We keep it mainly and strictly a cultural event.
Now, you mentioned a new thing for 2012, which is the internet and the TV and everything. How do you raise funds to meet these related expenses?
It's the generous contributions of our community and our different businesses and just everyone coming together to ask, hey, we keep this a tradition every year, but it doesn't happen without your help. And so we do ask for everyone's support. And thankfully, through the years, the donations have kept coming.
Now, I don't know if you want to go into detail, but I know it has to be a few sponsors. Who are some of the sponsors for this year's parade?
This year, actually, Drake College is one of our sponsors. They're located on Broad Street in Elizabeth and part of the new management team that's kind of outstretching into the community. We have different contractors that also support us. The mayor's office as well. They've been instrumental, as well as our police department and such.
Now, in previous years, I've talked with a few people on the committee, and they were sharing with me that you build your own floats.
We do. We do. The day before the parade and actually the week prior, we actually even have a contest for the best float and the most creative, the most unique, things along those lines. And members, our carpenters, our hardworking individuals of the community actually build a lot of the floats to replicate traditional areas in Portugal or a specific theme.
Now, here's my question. Do you have to be Portuguese to be part of the Portuguese Day Parade?
No, and you could be there. You can be there with us right at the reviewing stand. It would be an honor to have you join us. But anyone can come and participate. On that day, everyone is Portuguese for us, so we welcome the entire city of Elizabeth to join us on Elizabeth Avenue.
Well, I challenged Sergio last year, and we did march in the parade, and it was a great event. And like I said, it was thousands of people in the streets, so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Now, what's the easiest way to get current news about the Portugal Day festivities?
Sure. The latest updates could be found on our website at www.elizabethportugalday.com. And there are all the applications, sponsor information, everything is listed in detail there.
Now, as time changes and we become different, does the second generation Portuguese still embrace the cultural and the traditions of Portugal?
Even more so, even more so. I mean, basically from when our grandparents taught our parents to teaching us, and now we're teaching our children. Through the years, the lineage has even gotten stronger because of Facebook and the internet and the different organizations.
Right.
It's amazing what these children are doing. They're the ones asking their parents, can we go to the Portuguese club? When are we going to go to the youth group? When are we going to go here? And it's really great to see, you know, even so many kids being active with their soccer organizations, and they're the ones now getting after the grandparents.
Right.
So we've definitely set a fire, and it's just keep rolling.
Now, there's one float where they have, I want to say, black pants, white shirts, and they have the...
Yes, that's our dance group.
Right.
And that float remains strictly for the Danças e Cantares de Portugal. It's the name of their group. And they are the Portuguese group that's out of the Portuguese Instructive Social Club here in Elizabeth.
Right.
And that organization alone probably has about 40 participants. And so they perform down Elizabeth Avenue, the ethnic dances, and the float is decorated to emulate regions of Portugal.
Now, is it a challenge to get young people to go back and participate and dress like that? I mean, do they find it, oh, I'm corny, be laughed at?
No, actually, they're taking challenge over who wants to be up front, and it's something that's been preserved since a younger generation. So the younger ones are seeing the teenagers do it, and so the teenagers years ago saw the older ones do it. And so because it's such an in thing to do and such a part of their everyday life, it really does become very easy to be able to cultivate everyone. But it's traditions that have been preserved through events such as the Portugal Day.
Now, outside of the Portugal Day Parade, are there any other events or activities that the young people can get involved in?
Absolutely. There's at the church, Our Lady of Fatima, they have their youth group. They have the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. There's several hundred members of those organizations. There's the soccer club at the Portuguese Club. There's the Nova Mocidade, which is like the younger generation of community activists. Right. There's an older version of that one too with Nova Geração, which is the new generation. So there's really different tiers for the age levels to keep the children active and wanting to come back.
Now, were you involved with the gardening at all, or?
Was I involved with the garden? Actually, yes. I was fortunate enough to work also when we had the urban farm dinners with Assemblywoman Quijano and her event that she organized. And it really has been a tremendous opportunity to see children grow in urban farm. And every Saturday or even during the week, you hear kids and, Mom, you know, we gotta go weed. We gotta go weed the garden. We gotta go pull the tomatoes. Right. And it's really instituting a new lifestyle for the children to take an active hands-on and making a difference. And
that's where the kids have the opportunity to plant and then eat what they planted?
Absolutely. And also too, some of the food that's grown is actually served at the dinners that we have at the Portuguese Club or at the church, or as well as if there were families in need of specific vegetables that really can't afford it, we've also been making some baskets on a case-by-case basis to be able to contribute back to the community of those less fortunate.
Now, do these children have any input or opportunity to help plan the festivities or the parade itself?
They do. They have a seat on our board, and they contribute just like all the other adults on the board, and they give their ideas, their feedback of wanting to get things just for the kids, like the big bouncing gyms and the different DJs that come on, so this way we can play a variety of music. So it does. It gives them an opportunity to take a leadership role in making that difference.
Right. Now, as you mentioned earlier, with this being shown on TV and also the internet. Is there a Portuguese radio station there live also, or no?
Unfortunately, we don't have one. There has been word that there is a new Portuguese radio station up and coming, but it hasn't made its way to Elizabeth yet. But we hope they do come soon, because we would love to include them.
Now, if you were to have the opportunity to have a guest from Portugal who is visiting, is there anything in particular you would show them in Elizabeth?
Oh, there's so many things I would show them. I'd start and get them in my car, and we would drive around the city and being able just to show how many Portuguese homes display their flags outside. I think just based on that and seeing the way they keep their properties and with their Portuguese flag, they'd have a notion of who is Portuguese. Right. Let's see, after the ride around town, I'd probably take them and stop at the Elizabeth Port, where Councilman Grover really did a tremendous job with the beautification. And so we'd take photo ops and take pictures in front of all those beautiful flags down at the port. I would definitely make our way up Elizabeth Avenue to show them our parade route, and have to knock on Mayor Bolwich's City Hall doors and ask him to show the City Council chambers, because there, you know, for years he has opened his doors to the Portuguese community and really given us an opportunity to share and have our King and Queen sit up on the seats and explain to the community about how much we are a part of the City of Elizabeth. So I definitely take them there. I take them to Jersey Gardens Mall because of our fantastic shopping and our outlet mall there, because that's not very common in Portugal. So definitely would take them to Jersey Gardens for some outlet shopping too. But there's so many great things in our city that I think I'd probably wear them out, and they'd need a vacation from the vacation.
See, I would have thought you'd just gone a different route instead of restaurants.
Well, we have to stop along the way to eat, so that kind of goes without say. But absolutely, there's great and fantastic Portuguese restaurants around the community that has great ethnic cuisine, as well as our traditional drinks. Okay.
Now, prior to the parade, there's the flag raising.
Yes.
That takes place in front of City Hall.
Correct.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. This year we're going to be out on the patio at about 6 p.m. on June the 1st, and that's Friday. And so we have our traditional flag raising. Each member of the organizations bring their own flag and kind of stand around behind. We have our Portuguese dance group performing out on the patio, and we take a few moments to honor our Portuguese flag raising. And then from there we proceed into Council Chambers office, where we end up having poems read, and the Consul General of Portugal attends. Several of our political figures within the community participate and support us. So it's really an opportunity to have it feel like the event is officialized by the city with the proclamation, and that actually begins and commences our festivities.
Now, as you start, and I'm going to say February, does the momentum build with each event leading to the
yes,
flag raising and parade?
It does. Our first event was back with the wine and cheese tasting back in February. And like you said, as every event gets closer, the number of participants increases, and the excitement for all of us, because again, just being able to get on Elizabeth Avenue with so many of us, all for the same cause of preserving our culture, truly is an unbelievable and unexplainable experience.
Okay. As the parade comes up, is this rain or shine, or?
Rain or shine on Elizabeth Avenue. We had to have some years in the past where it did drizzle, but we're praying that
I regret asking that question because I don't remember it raining on that day. So
we had drizzling, but rain or shine, we will be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the parade route, one more time, starts where?
It starts at Union Square Plaza, and it proceeds down Elizabeth Avenue onto Broad Street, and then concludes over on Grove Street in the...
So when you get to Elizabeth Avenue and Broad Street, you're making a left?
We're making a left by the library, correct, in between the library and the fire department.
Right.
And then we wave to everyone over at Trinitas, because they're all watching from their windows, and we proceed on down.
To the Portuguese Club?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's sardines waiting there?
There's sardines, there's chicken, there's everything you could think of. Different beefs being sauteed on the grill. There's an outdoor grill. There's tons of food and beverages. There's dance groups, as well as we have a couple of bands performing. So there's time for dinner, dancing, and a lot of fun.
And again, the contact information, there's a website or phone number?
Absolutely. Anybody interested in wanting to participate can view online at www.elizabethportugalday.com.
Is there a phone number or no, just the website?
Just the website. I'll be able to give you, then based on your interests, it goes to the individual committee members.
And the flag raising date, again, is Friday?
It's Friday, June 1st.
Okay, and what time?
At about 6 p.m. outside of City Hall.
Right, and that's followed by the Granddaddy Parade on Sunday.
On Sunday, yes.
And the time for the parade?
And the parade will begin at 1 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Tell Sergio I said hello.
Absolutely, I will. He's been a great president for us this year.
I wouldn't. Well, we'll talk about that off camera. But don't forget to join us on Facebook, City of Elizabeth NJ on Facebook, and also the city webpage itself, www.elizabethnj.org. Thank you for tuning in for this segment of Our City. Have a safe and wonderful week. Thank you.